36,000 years ago, deep inside a cave in southern France, someone crawled through a narrow tunnel in complete darkness. They had only a small stone lamp burning animal fat, a flame the size of a candle. They couldn't stand up. They couldn't see more than a few feet ahead. And when they finally reached a large underground chamber, they did something that would outlast every empire, every monument, every building that humans have ever constructed. They painted, not scratches, not random marks. Detailed, accurate, beautiful paintings of lions, mammoths, woolly rhinos, and horses in full motion, with perspective, with shading, with a sense of movement so accurate that modern artists have called it genius. The cave paintings at Chauvet, France, are 36,000 years old. That's older than StoneAge by 30,000 years, older than the Egyptian pyramids by 33,000 years, older than agriculture itself. Someone made art before they made cities, before they made writing, before they made anything we normally call civilization. Why? The first theory, the oldest one, is hunting magic. Paint the animal, control the animal. For most of the 20th century, researchers believed cave art was pure ritual. A shaman goes deep into the cave, paints the mammoth, and the hunt tomorrow will succeed. It's a satisfying theory. It fits our idea of primitive people as mystical and superstitious, but the evidence doesn't support it. When archaeologists mapped what animals appeared in the paintings versus what animals people actually ate, based on bones found at campsites, the lists don't match at all. They painted lions, bears, and woolly rhinos more than any other animals, but they almost never ate lions, bears, or rhinos. Those animals were dangerous and not worth hunting for food. They ate mostly reindeer. Reindeer bones are everywhere at Ice Age campsites, but reindeer almost never appear in the paintings. If this was hunting magic, it wasn't working. Or it wasn't hunting magic. You don't paint what you eat. You paint what amazes you. You paint the thing that fills you with awe. The second theory is communication, and this one is backed by serious modern research. Caves weren't private spaces. Different groups of people, sometimes separated by thousands of years, used the same cave chambers. There's evidence of paintings from multiple time periods layered on top of each other or placed deliberately in conversation with older images. Some researchers believe cave paintings were a form of shared knowledge, information left for whoever came next. And when you look closely, some paintings do seem to be information. Some show animal tracks. Some appear to map terrain. Here is the valley. Here is the river. Here is where the herd crosses in spring. Most remarkably, a recent study analyzed the marks that had always been dismissed as decorative: dots, lines, Y-shapes placed near animal paintings. The researchers found a consistent pattern. These marks encode lunar cycles. The dots count months. The Y-shape means birth. They were recording the breeding seasons of the animals they depended on. The dots and lines weren't decoration. They were a calendar, the oldest calendar ever found. Scratched onto a cave wall 25,000 years ago, they were writing. Not with letters, but with images and marks. The first recorded knowledge. The first attempt to store information outside a human brain. The third theory is the most surprising and the most recent. It comes from neuroscience. When humans spend time in deep caves, cut off from all light and all sound, something happens to the brain. Deprived of input, it starts generating its own. Geometric patterns appear, spirals, grids, dots, then shapes, then figures. Animals seem to emerge from the rock. This is a documented neurological phenomenon. It happens to people today in sensory deprivation experiments. It happened to miners trapped underground. The brain, starved of sensation, starts producing its own reality. Now look at the cave paintings again. Many of them use the natural surface of the rock. A bulge in the limestone becomes a mammoth's back. A crack becomes a lion's open mouth. The artist didn't paint on the rock. They revealed what was already there. Ancient humans may have believed the animals lived inside the rock, that the cave was a membrane between worlds, that when they painted, they weren't creating. They were uncovering. The cave was a screen. Their minds were the projector. But here is what matters most about cave art, regardless of why they made it. To paint in a cave, you need light. You need to mix pigments, grinding red ochre, black manganese, yellow clay into powder, then mixing with animal fat or water. You need brushes or reed tubes to blow paint through. You need to transport all of this equipment underground through narrow tunnels, sometimes for hundreds of meters. And for the highest paintings, the ones on cave ceilings 15 feet up, you need scaffolding. Archaeologists have found the holes drilled into cave walls 30,000 years ago, where wooden poles were inserted to build platforms. Someone planned this. Someone organized it. Someone said, "This matters enough to spend days building scaffolding in the dark to paint something on a ceiling that only a few people will ever see." This wasn't survival. This was something beyond survival. It was the first time humans decided that making something beautiful, making something that would outlast them, was worth doing for its own sake. 36,000 years later, we still go into those caves. We still look at those paintings. We still feel something when we see them, something that doesn't need explaining. They made art because they were human, and being human has always meant that staying alive was never quite enough.